What's going on, guys? Jake Peffer here. I'm joined by my co-host and sister,
Christina Cunningham.
and this is Adventures in Theme Parking. Today, we've got another ride review for you guys, and we are going to be looking at Remy's Ratatouille Adventure, which opened October 1st, 2021 at Epcot at Walt Disney World, Orlando. We're doing this specific version, not the other version that's overseas. Christina, you got a chance to ride it pretty recently. I went to Epcot last February and had the opportunity to ride this, and it's an interesting ride because the way it's set up and designed is very cool. It's a dark ride. It's a trackless dark ride, which is something Disney's kind of been doing with a lot of their newer rides, and I think it's a awesome kind of technology. And this is a 3D ride as well, so you got some little glasses you got to wear throughout the duration of the ride. It's a 4 minute 40-second ride, so it's something to get out of the hot summer weather when you're there, or just get inside and ride a nice cool ride for almost 5 minutes. And it's set up in their France location at the World Showcase in Epcot. So yeah, this is obviously based on the 2007 movie Ratatouille from Disney Pixar, and we follow Remy the rat as we basically you get in a little rat car and you follow him around and try to escape from Gusteau's restaurant. And you go through a lot of different scenes, just like in the movie. It's a pretty fun little ride, and it's one I was a little disappointed in, but I think overall it works pretty well. Christina, how'd you feel about it when you got the chance to ride it?
But yeah, like you said, like it wasn't that long ago when I got to ride it, like a few months, and I didn't realize that it was like kind of like the trackless type, ride and all that. So, but I thought that was actually kind of unique in a way because I just like the way it's set up, and I feel like it's, even though it's a little weird at first, it like, it's pretty effective for kind of like getting you on and off the ride and everything. So that was kind of cool to be able to kind of experience something different that I've never experienced before in a ride. And so I definitely liked seeing kind of like what the new technology is doing to kind of like help progress and advance these type of rides, especially like the indoor type rides as well.
Yeah, and this is a technology they've been using. So that I know they use it on Rise of the Resistance, the Star Wars ride at Hollywood Studios. They also use it on Minnie and Mickey's Runaway Adventure, whatever that one's called, which is also at Hollywood Studios. That one's pretty fun. Next time you go to Disney, you're definitely going to want to ride both of those because they are good in and of themselves. This one, like I said, I was a little disappointed with it. And I think the only reason I was disappointed is because I had to wait for about probably almost 2 hours to ride this. That's the only downside with Disney as a whole is, and I mean, Universal has its issues with it too. When they have a newer ride at a park, everybody, as soon as the park opens, they all flock right to it. So unless you're one of the first few there, you're going to be waiting quite a while. And of course, this one is located on the complete opposite end of the park from the entrance. Although it did look like there's a little like back entrance that could take you right to this. I'm not sure how you approach that one, but anyway, so yeah, when we went last year, we went straight to this because we knew it was new and everybody was going to want to ride it. And once we eventually got on, it's fun for the most part, but it's definitely not a ride that's worth waiting almost 2 hours for. This is a maybe 45 minute, maybe an hour tops, weight limit that would be worthwhile for, because it is fun and it is, a longer than usual ride. It's not just like a little 1.5 minute quick thing. There's actually a story here. You actually get to go through some pretty cool elements. You're like I said, you're in a little rat car and you're basically running around this restaurant, and it's all pretty fun. There's some interesting stuff where like you go up under one of the like fryers or ovens, and it heats up above you. They spray water on you. There's a part where champagne gets sprayed in your face, and you get a little mist sprayed on you. So there's fun elements to it. It's almost more like a 4D ride than just a 3D ride. So I do like that aspect of it. And it's something, everybody can enjoy. It's good for kids. There's not a lot of people that can sit in the car on its own. From what I remember, I think it's just three to a row. So you're not getting a ton of people
Yeah.
on for one ride at a time. But for the most part, even though we waited quite a while, it does seem like everything does move rather quickly to get everybody kind of in and out. And, I think for the most part, this is a pretty fun ride, wouldn't you say?
Oh yeah, yeah, definitely. Because like I know by the time I went, it was getting kind of close to about a year of it being like open, so it wasn't as crowded as probably when you were there. But I think I still waited like a little, like I think it was between like an hour and a half, so not nearly as much as you, but um, it's just not that bad, considering it was so much worse when you went. But um I don't know, it's like the whole all the different elements, like making it feel like you're like an actual like mouse, and that you're actually kind of like on his level and everything when it comes to like whatever was happening in the storyline basically.
Yeah, it's pretty reminiscent of like the Amazing Spider-Man ride over at Islands of Adventure, because you have where a lot of it is screen based, but then you have a lot of practical elements throughout as well. So it's a good mixture that I do like. But this one's even cooler technology wise than that Spider-Man ride because of the trackless design, which is a thing I hope to see maybe Universal adapt here in the near future, because the Disney rides that I've been on that have been this trackless system, I think have all been really good. And I think a lot of that is in part to the design itself. I think it works really well. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if there's much else to say about this. I will say the queue is set up pretty nicely. As you can
Area.
see in our picture behind, this is kind of the outside of what it looks like, and all of it on the outside is beautiful. It actually makes you feel like you're in France. It all looks really nice. Everything, once you get a little further into the queue itself, is all set up really nicely, and it's all very reminiscent of the movie and whatnot. So it does have some nice scenery going for it, at least if you do have to wait a while before getting on. And yeah, I mean, not much else I can really say about it. Is there anything you have issues with this one, outside of just if you have to wait a while?
um Not not really. I mean, I think it's really like something good for everyone, really, because I mean, yeah, it's might be a little more appealing to like kids or like younger people, but it's something that like pretty much anyone can enjoy to kind of like like what you're saying earlier, to kind of get out of the sun for a little bit. And so I mean, I think it's worth it, but it might not be like as like thrilling as like other rides that might be appealing to other types of groups that you might be with.
Yeah, I mean, it's a fun dark ride. That's what I mean, Disney's great at dark rides. That's kind of their forte for the most part. And this is a nice addition to Epcot. When I went last year, that was the first time I'd been in a long time. I think actually may have only been the second time I've ever been there. And while it's not one of my favorite parks from Disney, I do like this addition to the park. I think it is a good enough ride. It just doesn't, it's nothing overwhelmingly great, I would say. So if the line is longer, like I said, than about an hour, it's not worth waiting for. Either try to get there early and get on it, or wait till the park's close to closing, and you'll probably have a better chance of getting on this, getting in and out, versus having to wait a while, because it's not one worth waiting for, but it is fun nonetheless if you're trying to get out of the hot sun and everything. So for me, On the thrill rating, I think I would probably go. This is probably about a 3 out of 5. Perfectly fine ride. The technology behind it is definitely the selling point. If you're a fan of the movie, obviously, I think you'll enjoy it as well. You do have some of the voice cast returning, like Patton Oswalt and a few other people. So they lend their voices to these characters once again, which is nice. And like I said, the queue and the scenery and everything is all great. So it's definitely an appealing ride. It's just not one of the best when it comes to Walt Disney World. What would you put it at?
Basically the same as what you're saying, 3 out of 5. So basically for the same, type of reasons. Like, I think the technology is cool. It's great for especially like younger kids, and just a way to kind of get out of the sun and everything. So it's like, I feel like it's something good to do. Like if the wait happens to not be super bad, or if it's just, or if you're just like a huge fan of the movie. So
Yep. Glad to see we're in agreement on it. Well, that about does it for us here at Adventures in Theme Parking, guys. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe for more reviews coming in the near future. I'll leave all of our links down below on where you can follow us on Twitter and Instagram. And be sure to stay tuned for more reviews coming up. We will catch you all next time.
bye.